And welcome inside the Robert J. Collins Arena for Championship Sunday on BTV. I'm Tim Catalfemo alongside Brian Goudsworth. It's the 2019 Region 19 tournament, and we have two final games to decide this afternoon in the Collins Arena. The women will be first as the #1 seed Brookdale squares off against Passaic County. Both these two teams come off of very impressive wins yesterday in the semifinals, but Brian, these are two teams that have played each other recently. This should be a very good game, and the winner, of course, has a lot to play for because they'll go on to the national tournament for NJCAA.
Yeah, and for Brookdale, a big performance yesterday against Sussex, a game that they trailed for much of the first half but picked their way up. And I think a big key when you look at the matchup today is Rachel Rouse, because we talked about her throughout the season being a very streaky shooter. Yesterday she was on to the tune of 24 points. I think when she has her big shooting games, that typically means good results for Brookdale, and I think that's one thing they're going to look for this afternoon.
Brookdale is looking to continue the hot streak that they've been on. They are undefeated in this building this year, and they hope that they can continue to be undefeated in today's final. Now let's pause for the national anthem. Back here on BTV as we get ready to tip off today on Championship Sunday in the Robert J. Collins Arena on the campus of Brookdale Community College. I mentioned that we have two finals today. The women's finals for the Region 19 tournament along with the men. The men are squaring off at 2:30. That should be a very hot game between Union County and Middlesex as you look at five of the starting five that Passaic County will trot onto the floor with this afternoon. Kathy Davis had a very impressive game yesterday. Of course, Passaic is coming off of a big win, 71-61 over the second seed CCC of Philadelphia Colonials yesterday afternoon. They are looking to go back to the Nationals. It's been a while since head coach Tia Eaton in her 16th season has been to the Nationals, but they have a very good shot this year if they can pull off a win against Brookdale in their home arena. The starting five pops up on your screen right there. Deja Anderson has played very well, along with Jessica Poplowski, probably one of the better performances that she has had the entire season, Brian. She really came up big yesterday in Brookdale's three-point win against Sussex.
It's very much worth noting because Brookdale was starting to struggle. At one point, Sussex led that game 29-17, and that's when Jessica Poplowski showed up. I mean, she came into the game, started getting every offensive rebound. I mean, it seemed like 4 or 5 possessions in a row, she got an offensive rebound. Brookdale offense then started clicking as a result of getting the second chance opportunities, and they wound up catching up there late stages of the half, taking the lead, and really never looking back the rest of the way. So she was an enormous key and hoping to duplicate that kind of performance here in the title game.
Mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Brookdale is the #1 seed, Passaic as the 3rd. Our officials this afternoon, Ron DePasquale, Steve Warner, and Ashley Nichols. Brookdale huddling up before they get ready to come out onto the floor. They're in their home white uniforms. Passaic is in their away black uniforms with red lettering. Last time these two teams played each other was the final regular season game of the year. Brookdale was able to get a win 54-50. Deja Anderson led the team in that game with 11 points. Danielle Griffith will be at midcourt with Jada Camacho for the opening tip. It is controlled by Passaic, and a violation will give the ball to Brookdale before 1 second has gone off the clock here in the first. So once again, it's Rachel Rouse, Deja Anderson, Jessica Poplowski, Danielle Griffith, and Anna Catanzaro on the floor for Brookdale. Brianna Ramos-Henkel, Kathy Davis, Anaya Thomas, Jada Camacho, and Olivia Moses, the 5 players for Passaic, and we are underway. Here's Anderson trying to open things up, and she does with a nice jumper, and Brookdale's on the board early, 2-0.
Anderson gives Brookdale a good scoring presence coming off a 17-point game in the win over Essex. They need her scoring with Delonzo not on the court.
Foul here underneath, I believe, on Jessica Poplowski as she stepped in front of Brianna Ramos-Henkel. That'll be the first on Jessica and the first on Brookdale. Fresh 30 for Passaic, 30 seconds into the ball game. Still in a 2-3 zone. Now here's Camacho. It's a long two, but she traveled.
Yeah, just took one step there before releasing that jumper, so take the basket off the board.
And now Passaic is looking to use some full court press here to possibly force Brookdale into a turnover. Danielle Griffith, though, ahead of the defense, throws it up there with the left hand. Poplawski is there for the rebound, and it rolls in.
We talked about Poplawski in the open and picking up right where she left off, getting her first offensive board and quickly turning it into points.
And it's an early 4-0 lead for the Jersey Blues. Thomas inside, high off the glass. Rebound underneath by Davis, but a foul here on the floor on Brookdale. And this possibly could be against Jessica Poplawski. So Poplawski now has picked up her second foul, and that's the second on the team. She will hit the bench early, and that could be a big loss, particularly because of how such a great performance she had in the last game yesterday against Sussex.
Yeah, and with Brookdale already down Delonzo, not many options to come off the bench for the Jersey Blues.
Dion Griffith comes in for Poplawski, who is on the bench. Moses now dribbling with the basketball. Davis right at Catanzaro. Inside, last touched by Brookdale. Camacho will inbound. Thomas tried to feed it inside to Moses. It's taken away. Now Brookdale with an early 4-0 lead. Trying to add to that. Rouse for three. Short. And the rebound, Thomas. Thomas on the break. Right at Anderson. The floater. Doesn't go. Rebound, though, to Thomas. Camacho puts it up. That's off the heel. Henkel tries her luck from inside the paint. She got her own rebound. This one still doesn't go. And finally, Danielle Griffith is able to clear it for Brookdale.
That's like 3 opportunities from point-blank range, and Passaic unable to convert.
Anderson double team. She goes around the defense, throws it up there a little too strong off the back iron. Thomas had the rebound for a second. Now she gets it over to Davis. Here's Thomas at the other end. Can't get the layup, and Catanzaro is fouled by Thomas at the other end. So that's the first foul on Passaic. It goes against Zania Thomas. That's her first. Anna Catanzaro, one of the players that head coach Rich Brunson in his 3rd season for the Jersey Blues, told both Brian and I yesterday he has been very impressed by this week in practice.
And I thought she had the biggest basket of the game yesterday when she extended the range out to behind the 3-point line and got a 3 to go.
Griffith now over to her sister Danielle Griffith inside. Dion Griffith the rebound. A jump ball is called, and it will go to Passaic. So a couple of opportunities close underneath the basket. Brookdale cannot convert. And now the Panthers still down 4-0 here in the first. Will look to get on the board on this possession.
And for Brookdale defensively, it goes without saying that Zania Thomas is the one player you have to key in on defensively.
Thomas from 3. Rouse is able to secure the rebound. Gives it up to Catanzaro, the jumper. Too strong. Camacho comes soaring in for the rebound. Camacho now will keep it herself. She goes to the rim and scores off the glass.
It's not just Thomas and Kathy Davis. Camacho's kind of that third wheel for Passaic offensively.
Deja Anderson tried to split the defense. It's taken away by Zania Thomas. It's blocked away by Deja Anderson at the other end.
Boy, Anderson does a great job there, not committing a foul, getting all ball, getting back in transition. Big-time defensive play to deny Thomas.
Be 26 to shoot for the Panthers. Camacho, the quick jumper off the side of the backboard, and Anderson pulls down the rebound. And a whistle and a timeout is going to be taken by Coach Brunson with 6:26 remaining here in the first quarter. Brookdale with the early 4-2 lead. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here on BTV. We're glad you're joining us. We had a extensive day of coverage yesterday. We have 2 finals this afternoon in the Collins Arena. As you see Coach Brunson talking to his team, 3rd season for Brunson, a Rutgers Scarlet Knight from 1979 to 1983. And I mentioned it yesterday, this is now 3 years in a row that his teams have made it to the Region 19 tournament. They went to the national tournament in his first season. They lost to RCGC last year in the championship game, which was held up Northampton. They're looking to get to the nationals. They can if they win this afternoon, which ironically enough, the national tournament will be held at Northampton. A 10-second violation for the Jersey Blues out of that timeout. We'll give it back to Passaic.
That's the kind of turnover that you just can't afford outside a timeout, to just fail to get it across the mid-court line within 10 seconds.
Sanaya Thomas. Now to Moses, had it blocked away by Danielle Griffith. And now here comes Anderson bringing the ball up the floor. Nice move to get around Davis, who just fell down all by herself. Nobody touched her. Now Anderson open for a long 2. That's front rim no good, and Camacho had it for a second. It's taken away by Davis.
That's what they call an ankle-breaking crossover.
Davis, the runner, puts it up again. Moses, the 3rd chance opportunity, and she's fouled underneath the bucket. Foul is on Dion Griffith. The 2 Griffith twins on the floor, Danielle and Dion, who have both been getting a more increasing role on offense, and both have many interests from 4-year schools in and around the area. It's the first on Dion Griffith. Camacho nearly lost it. She's able to recover. Shot clock down to 20. Camacho, bounce pass to Davis, right at Griffith, can't finish, and Danielle Griffith tracks down yet another rebound in this first quarter. Anderson going around a double team, flips it over to Danielle Griffith rather, underneath the basket, and she's fouled. The 2nd team foul on Passaic, and the foul is charged to Jada Camacho. That's her 1st. So Danielle Griffith, a very talented player, has 30 blocks on the year. We saw one just a few moments ago, shooting 68% from the foul line. The sophomore from Howell.
You know, throughout the day yesterday, we saw different teams struggle offensively, and so far we're about halfway through this opening quarter, a total of only 6 points.
Thomas lost it on the floor. Anderson trying to scoop it up. Danielle Griffith is able to grab it and now gets it over to Anderson. Okay, with some numbers here. Anderson, the jumper. Catanzaro, the rebound. Up, it rolls off the rim. Still fighting for it. Brookdale's able to come away with it. Passaic has struggled to secure the rebound. It'll stay here after it was knocked out by Moses. Still 4-2, Brookdale in front. Low scoring first quarter, but we have had a lot of action. Catanzaro, a long 2. Rouse the rebound, and it goes in the paint for Rachel Rouse. And now 6-2, Brookdale pulls back ahead by 4. Moses at Catanzaro. Got her own rebound. Davis, the floater. Rebound Catanzaro. Nothing working inside so far for the Panthers. Anderson has a double team coming. Catanzaro can't handle the pass, and it's a turnover. Anderson saved it out of bounds. Now here's Rouse the other way. Back and forth we come. The other way for Brookdale. Anderson inside. Tough shot, doesn't drop. On the floor, Anderson gets it back. gets it over to Cananzaro, and Brookdale will have an opportunity to reset.
What a job by Anderson, each end of the floor. This end, the previous end, she got a save, and that time, just a great job.
Rouse high off the glass, no good from three. Danielle Griffith falls down to the floor, but it's a jump ball called, as that was Henkel fighting with Danielle Griffith for the rebound. It'll stay here with Brookdale. Anna Cananzaro hits the bench, and in for her, Alexis Espada. Danielle Griffith, the two in the paint is good. Brookdale now has their largest lead, 8-2. Passaic needs a bucket here on this possession. They've gone cold, and that's not going to help them as Davis turns it over with a traveling violation. Timeout is taken by head coach Tia Eaton, another 30-second timeout. She wants to talk things over with her team that is down by 6. 16th season for head coach Eaton. Mentioned it yesterday, this is the first time in 4 years the team has made it to the Region 19 tournament. And despite having some travel delays yesterday because of the snow, she said her team was motivated to play yesterday against Philadelphia, and she really likes this group. This group likes to play with each other. It's a very diverse group of players, but she's really pleased with the group that she has under her helm this season.
Yeah, they played well as a team, and that was a big win yesterday against Philadelphia, a team that was a higher seed than the Panthers, but they got the job done, especially on the defensive end. Thus far, though, they're just searching for offense. Brookdale's done a good job shutting down Zanaya Thomas, and thus far searching for answers offensively.
Disappointing end for the Colonial season. Coach Kenyatta McKinney in his second year turned the program around from going 2-22 last year. It's a blocking foul inside on Jada Camacho. Will send Jessica Poplawski to the foul line. Philadelphia was 2-22 last year. They finished the year 22-6. Now Poplawski at the foul line for 2 shots, as that was the second personal foul charged to Jada Camacho. Front rim no good on the attempt from the line. Poplawski is a player that needs to get the ball in the post. She had a career high 18 points against Northampton earlier this season back in November, but as Brian and I, we both talked about just a moment ago, she probably had her best game yesterday against Sussex.
Especially with rebounding, but also scoring. She's not usually one who chips in on the offensive end all that much, but picked a good time for a big performance.
Rouse a little bit ahead of the defense. Now Moses comes over to block. Rouse can't get the layup to drop, a little bit too strong. And a foul here at midcourt. It's now the 4th team foul on the Jersey Blues. And this will be charged to Dion Griffith. That's her second. Passaic has only been able to muster up 2 points in this opening quarter so far. They're a team that averages 82 a game. Moses inside, tough shot. Poplawski the rebound. Anderson from the foul line. Zanaya Thomas from behind the arc, and that ball gets stuck on the side of the heel. And that pretty much sums up the way Passaic has shot in the first quarter. Just they have not had any luck from around the perimeter.
It does, and it's going to take the athletic trainer, Pete Fusco, to try to get that first attempt no good. Second, he got it.
Needed the assist of a broom there to get that one out. So a pseudo timeout as the officials will now call the teams back onto the floor. 2:11 remaining here in the first, and we saw yesterday some games that we thought were going to be high flyers in a sense as far as a lot of points expected to be put up on the board that were not. This is a similar game in a sense. Brookdale has done a nice job. They've had good looks and they have a 6-point lead, but for Passaic, they just have struggled. They haven't had bad looks, just nothing is falling right now.
Yeah, and credit Brookdale defensively. They're contesting shots, not allowing leading scorers Anaya Thomas to get going to this point, so it's been an A start for the Jersey Blues.
17 to shoot. Rouse, right wing three. Front rim no good. Thomas tried to feed it to Camacho. Now here's Moses and a double dribble.
Passaic has just had nothing go right. It's those kind of turnovers, missing shots. I mean, we played almost a quarter of basketball. They have 2 points. This is the championship game.
Jessica Poplawski will come out of the game. In for her, Anna Catanzaro. Passaic, by my count, has yet to make a substitution.
They might need one.
This is Davis on Rouse. Rouse spinning her way into the paint, throws it up there and in for Rachel Rouse. What a move.
Great play by Rouse. Let's watch this again. Kind of carries the ball there, just sort of shovels it toward the basket, gets it to go.
Now Passaic really needs an answer, down by 8. Moses, that won't drop this time. Now here's Catanzaro, who had that 3 yesterday. Very explosive 3 from behind the line. Not something that we're used to seeing out of Catanzaro. She can't handle the feed, though, from Anderson. Passaic with some numbers. Give and go back to Moses, and she lays it in. After the assist from Davis.
Well, Passaic needed something to feel good about. Maybe that'll start to get them going. They got some press on and a turnover.
Another turnover here. Opportunity for the Panthers. Thomas couldn't handle it, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, just not a good pass there. You want to sort of lob that in to Thomas so that she can go up for a layup. Too much mustard on it and has it go through her hands.
Shot clock is turned off here in the first. Brookdale can hold for the final shot if they choose. And they beat the full court press. Rouse inside again off the glass. This one doesn't drop. Davis, the feed up to Thomas. She was behind the play. She lost it, but she's able to recover. And now Passaic with 6 to shoot. Davis that was Thomas rather who traveled. And that's a shame because Passaic had an opportunity to take the final shot in the first. Now Brookdale with 5.4 will probably have a chance to get another bucket on the board.
And watch Rachel Rouse in a situation like this. Remember what happened at the end of the third quarter yesterday against Sussex.
The half-court heave went in. Catanzaro, Espada, Rouse, and Brookdale was trying to execute that, but just a little bit too slow to develop. Nonetheless, though, a 6-point lead for the Jersey Blues at the end of 1 quarter of play. We'll come back for the championship game of the Women's 19 Region 19 tournament on BTV after this.
Come inside to get a glimpse of the education, community, and convenience Brookdale offers.
Region 19 championship game on the women's side this afternoon in the Collins Arena. Tim Catalfemo alongside Brian Gouds with the rest of our BTV crew. We're glad you're joining us for our second day of coverage after a marathon yesterday of 4 games. We have 2 for you this afternoon. Winner goes to the national tournament. Brookdale and Passaic, the 1st and 3rd seeds in the tournament, trying to find their way to Northampton, which is where the Nationals will be held. I say that because I know Troy Tucker, the Northampton AD, is watching our telecast, and Danielle Griffith inside with the layup gives Brookdale an 8-point lead.
Great find from Catanzaro there. It's nice vision from out on the perimeter to deliver that pass to Griffith in stride.
Passaic now continues to look for answers on the offensive end. Moses, the deep three, is way off the mark. But Henkel has the rebound. Camacho now, the jumper is good.
Camacho's been the one bright spot. She's either scored all 6 or at least 4 of the Passaic points thus far.
Foul here on Davis as she was going after the ball. Cananzaro was trying to catch it right in front of Coach Eaton. And that's the first foul on Davis. So far, again, as I mentioned in the first quarter, Passaic has yet to make a substitution. Rouse is double teamed. Tried to get it over to Poplawski, and it's taken away. Thomas now at the other end, off the glass and in. It's a mini 4-0 run for the Panthers, and they are within 4.
Thomas didn't even take a dribble there after she collected the pass, goes up and scores.
And another turnover there. Brookdale now starting to unravel in these last couple of minutes, leaving the door open for Passaic, which is a very good shooting team. We talked about that in the first quarter. They average 82 points a game, shoot on average 49%. Didn't get off to the best start in the world, but right now they're knocking on the door and have the momentum to start the second quarter. Camacho open for the long 2. That's off the heel. Poplawski the rebound. Anderson splits the defense. Deja Anderson to the rim. She's fouled. And Anderson now will go to the line for 2 shots. Foul is on Brianna Ramos Henkel. So Deja Anderson, the 5'6" sophomore from Newark, New Jersey, very gifted player who's got speed and really good form when she pulls up for a jump shot. Not able to hit the first attempt from the line, but something interesting about Anderson is she's only played 5 games this season. In each of those games that she has played, she has scored double figures in each of those games. So that's a very impressive stat. She came on a very late addition to the team, but she's really filled in very nicely in this Brookdale offense.
Yeah, she kind of takes it upon herself to be one of the key scorers on this team, and Brookdale needs her more with Delonzo not on the floor. A lot of times you see Anderson bring it up the floor, either set up a teammate or take the shot herself. She's a key to the Brookdale offense.
Thomas rattles it in off the glass as she went right at Poplawski. Poplawski went straight up, and Thomas just kind of chucked it up there, and it goes in. Brookdale in front by 3. Tipped around and taken away by the Panthers. This is Camacho now. Over to Moses. It's stripped. Anderson tries to grab it. Now she'll pull up for the long 2. Halfway down. Griffith. The other Griffith, Danielle, puts it in. And now Brookdale back in front by 5. Camacho, the 3 is good. Jada Camacho averages 15 a game, and now she brings Passaic to within 2.
Well, Brookdale's done a good job on Zanaya Thomas, but they've kind of forgotten about Camacho, and she's burned them repeatedly.
Brookdale barely gets it across midcourt to beat the 10-second violation. And they're having some difficulty handling this full court press. Nice give and go to Poplawski, and she finishes at the rim.
That's twice that Brookdale has run that exact play with Catanzaro getting a touch at the high post. Once she found Griffith, that time it's Poplawski. Great execution.
17-13, Brookdale in front. Both teams have woken up here in the second quarter. That shot doesn't fall for Thomas. She gets it out to Moses. Coach Brunson wanted a traveling violation. Shot clock did not reset for Passaic. It's down to 6. Davis throws it up there, and it falls. 2-point game. Camacho takes it away. Now here's Moses at Griffith. Dion Griffith with the rejection.
And Griffith pleading it. should be Brookdale ball. She's not going to win that argument, but a great block shot for Brookdale's best in that department.
And a timeout is taken by Coach Brunson. It'll be a full timeout on the floor. 5:59 to play in the first half. Brookdale leads by 2 here in the Collins Arena. Brookdale's got 25 to shoot out of the timeout. Or excuse me, rather Passaic has got 25 to shoot out of the timeout. Panthers are down by 2. They have clawed their way back into the game. They struggled in the first quarter, but now they're starting to heat up. Thomas again. This one doesn't fall in the paint. And Brookdale with Rouse for the 3. That's an air ball. Championship game of the Region 19 tournament on the women's side. Men's championship game is coming up at 2:30. That really should be a very interesting game between Union County, who had a very impressive win over Rowan College at Gloucester County last night, and Middlesex that comes off of beating Cumberland. We'll have that game at 2:30. Davis, now over to Camacho. It's a 3. Rebound is loose. It's scooped up by Thomas. Davis again puts it up and in. And we're tied at 17.
And Davis, a pretty quiet half thus far, but after Brookdale controlled this half for much of the way, it's been an extended run now here for Passaic to get themselves even.
Danielle Griffith to the rim. She lays it in. A very nice drive by Danielle Griffith, and Brookdale back up by 2.
A good aggressive move that time all the way to the basket.
Camacho wide open for a long 2 from the baseline. That's off the mark. Rebound Anderson. Anderson. Poplawski now back to Anderson. Shot clock is at 15. Anderson around the high screen, dribbled it off her foot. Rouse came up with it. Shot clock is down to 2, down to 1, and Rouse doesn't realize it, and that's a shot clock violation.
Yeah, I don't think Rouse realized it, because if she did, you can bet she would have put up a shot with how much she likes to shoot the 3-pointer. And for Brookdale, time just ran out on him.
Anna Catanzaro heads to the scores table. She'll come in for somebody. Henkel now. Brookdale has dropped into a 2-3 zone. Dion Griffith on Camacho. Zanaya Thomas. It's taken away by Poplawski.
Just a great defensive play to get the blocked shot and then just grab hold of the basketball altogether.
Dion Griffith double teamed, it's tipped up. Anderson comes in to grab it back. The long 2 is an air ball. But the officials say that it was last touched by Passaic. I thought that Anderson was the last one that touched. I thought it went out of bounds. I didn't see who touched it for Passaic, but Brookdale maintains possession with 12 on the shot clock. Shot clock now again winding down the 5. Danielle Griffith, another drive. This time it doesn't go. Thomas in transition to the rim. She's fouled. There'll be 2 shots upcoming now for Zanaya Thomas, who played incredibly well yesterday.
Yet to really get going so far in this game, though, and I'm sure that was a focus for head coach Rich Brunson and the rest of his staff, saying we can't allow Zanaya Thomas to beat us. Thus far, she hasn't, but someone like Jada Camacho has kind of picked up the slack.
Thomas can't hit from the first attempt from the line. She shoots on average 72%. And And I mentioned this yesterday. She has scored, Zanaya Thomas has, double figures in all but one game this year, which was, ironically enough, against the 5th seed, Sussex County, on January 20th. Thomas, front rim, no good on the second attempt. Ball is loose. Scramble on the floor. Jump ball is called. And it will go to Brookdale. Jersey Blues in front, still by 2, 19-17. Closing moments of the first half.
You know, this game so far kind of going on course with how Brookdale has played lately. They haven't topped the 60-point mark in now 6 games in a row, playing a lot more low-scoring games of late.
Another turnover there for Brookdale. This full-court press is really giving them a lot of trouble. Passaic has remained consistent and has pushed that press really since the early portions of the first quarter, and it's one of the reasons why they've been able to get back in the game. Thomas, a nice move inside, but she lost it. Rouse looking for an outlet. Rouse bobbled it, and she's able to corral it. She had Danielle Griffith open in the paint, but that opportunity goes away. Rouse looking to go somewhere with the basketball. Shot clock is down to 10. Espada for 3 from the corner, and it's good.
You know, lately when Espada comes into the game, she seems to be good for 1 or 2 from downtown, kind of extending her range. She didn't shoot a lot of threes when she was here last year, but that's a new element.
Foul here on the floor on Brookdale. Crowd not happy. And that is on Poplawski. That's her 3rd personal.
And a lot of booing, as nobody seems to be enthralled by that call.
So Kathy Davis now at the foul line. First attempt is good. Davis, another player that played very well yesterday, Brian, in that game against Philadelphia. And the interesting thing about Davis is her stats, her numbers are almost off the charts. She shoots 55% from around the floor, and she doesn't just get it done on offense, but on defense, she's got over 80 steals on the year.
Yeah, very good all-around player, scores in a variety of ways. She can shoot it, she can get positioned down low, and had a big hand in the win over Philadelphia yesterday, too.
Danielle Griffith traveled. Yet another turnover for Brookdale in the second quarter. I mentioned Poplawski is on the bench for 3 personal fouls. Deja Anderson came in for her. It's Rouse Anderson, Danielle Griffith, Dion Griffith, and Catanzaro on the floor for the Jersey Blues. Passaic has still yet to make a substitution. Shot clock down to 6. Davis inside. Transition bucket doesn't fall. It's tipped around. Passaic comes up with it, and the shot clock resets. Moses nearly stripped of the ball. Shot clock down to 14. Olivia Moses with the shot clock at 5. Shada Camacho for 3. Too strong. Final minute of the first half. Brookdale in front by 3. Catanzaro guarded tightly by Kathy Davis. She puts up the jump shot, and it falls in off of the rim.
Catanzaro continues her impressive play. Today it's been a lot of setting up teammates. That time just a nice move, backing her way in and getting the bucket.
Thomas tries to answer with a 3. It's tipped around. Camacho is fouled in the paint. That's the first on Deja Anderson. And the third on the Jersey Blues. As Jada Camacho at the foul line hits the first attempt. One out of two from the line for Camacho, but Moses is able to track down the long rebound. Into the corner for Henkel. Davis again at Catanzaro. That one doesn't go. And Brookdale can hold for the final shot if they choose to. They have a 4-point lead. Rouse. Anderson going down to the floor once again for the loose ball, and a jump ball is called. It goes back to Passaic. Alexis Espada is now going to come in real fast. She comes in for Anderson.
Yeah, good substitution because Brookdale needs a last-second shot. She's another candidate to shoot the three.
So now, will it be Passaic that will hold for the final attempt? Davis with 5. Henkel with 2. Henkel with 1. Davis, they didn't realize the clock was that low, and that is the way the first half ends. With the score 24-20. Brookdale with the 4-point lead, and the Jersey Blues, despite both teams coming out of the gate a little bit shaky, picked up their performance in the second half along with Passaic, and they have a 4-point lead at halftime. And Passaic, they have gone to this full court press, and that has given Brookdale some difficulty, especially just trying to get the ball across midcourt. It's one of the reasons why the Panthers are so close, but the Panthers, despite having that full court press, have had so much difficulty converting inside the paint. That's really been the difference in this game.
Yeah, and I think they're going to need to find some more answers offensively. One player has done the job so far for them. That's Jada Camacho, who's scoring most of their points, but they really need Zanaya Thomas to do more, and Kathy Davis, the other two leading scorers for Passaic. I think you have to credit Brookdale defensively for doing the job on them, maybe tighten it up more on Camacho, and then for the Jersey Blues as a whole, they have done some good things. Deja Anderson getting after loose balls, Catanzaro finding open teammates down near the basket. I think you'd like to see a little bit more Rachel Rouse shooting here in the second half to try to get them going offensively, but so far Jersey Blues doing the job defensively, holding them to 20 points, and now we'll try to pick it up here in the second half.
Pretty impressive effort by both teams in the championship game of the Region 19 tournament for the women. The winner goes on to play in the national tournament for NJCAA. Brookdale leads by 4. We'll take a break on BTV. We'll come back for the second half right after this.
Floor got the pass from Camacho, able to gather it in and go up for the layup.
Anderson now over to Poplawski. Long three there by Rouse is off the mark. Rebound Davis. Passaic can tie here on this possession. If Moses can keep it from going out of bounds, she gives it back to Anderson. Catanzaro flips it over to Poplawski, and she's fouled.
Yeah, it's not really a fair fight down near the basket with Ramos Henkel, the one who was tasked with trying to defend Poplawski down near the basket.
Well, Poplawski is listed at 6'2", Henkel at 5'7", so you're right, definitely a big difference as far as height is concerned. Probably not the best matchup in the world if you're Passaic. You probably would have one of your other players guarding Poplawski inside. She can't hit from the line, and that's been an issue for Brookdale. They have got to improve from the foul line. In fact, the last time these two teams met, back in the middle of February, Brookdale was 9 of 24 from the foul line, so that is not a number that is going to win you the game. 1 out of 2 from the line that time for Poplawski, and Brookdale goes back up by 3. Zanaya Thomas along the baseline, rattles it in. And Passaic now is starting to feel it from around the perimeter. Both teams have opened up the second half strong. Anderson tries to answer with a drive of her own inside, and she's fouled. It's the second on the Panthers, and the third charged to Jada Camacho. So Deja Anderson, the 5'6" sophomore from Newark, mentioned how she has never played a game where she scored less than 11 points. Anderson can't hit from the line. That's been an area that she's been working on during practice and even before the game and pregame warm-ups, trying to become more comfortable from the foul line. Second attempt. This one's too strong. And Passaic makes their first substitution of the game as Jada Camacho hits the bench. And that's a walk on Kathy Davis. In for Camacho is Lou Russo.
And like you mentioned, that's the first time that Passaic has substituted in the game. They went the entire first half with the same 5 players on the floor.
Danielle Griffith along the baseline, tough shot. And Brookdale extends their lead back up to 3.
That's one thing that Rich Brunson said yesterday, that he needed to see a lot from both of the Griffiths, and thus far Danielle has provided that.
Traveling violation on Zanaya Thomas. Anderson double teamed. Cross-court pass to Griffith. Griffith again at the rim, and she's fouled. She goes over Zanaya Thomas. Both players look like they get tripped up. So hard contact going down to the floor for both players. They get up fine. And now Danielle Griffith at the foul line once again, shooting 68%. It's the second on Zanaya Thomas. And the foul line issues for Brookdale continue. As a team, Brookdale only shooting 61%. 0 for 2 that time for Danielle Griffith. Lou Russo for 3. Popolowski the rebound, now up ahead to Rouse. Rouse, nice job using her body to block out Thomas, but she can't finish with the layup. Brookdale drops back into a 2-3 zone. Russo throws it up there off the side of the backboard, not even close.
I'm not sure why she decided to attempt a shot like that.
Anderson once again double teamed as soon as she gets across midcourt. The feed into Popolowski is good.
I'll tell you, Catanzaro's passing has been pinpoint accurate. Just look at where she gets that ball to Popolowski in a perfect spot for the easy bucket.
Brookdale now jumps out to a 5-point lead. Passaic will try to answer. Thomas. Nice bounce pass to Davis in the paint.
That's where Kathy Davis does a lot of her scoring.
Anderson kicks it out to Rouse in the corner for 3. Too strong. Panthers on the attack with some numbers. Thomas now will back it out to Henkel. Moses along the low block is fouled by Catanzaro.
I'll tell you, surprisingly so, Olivia Moses has been a total non-factor in the game. I mean, I don't think she's even scored. She'll try to get on the board for the first time here at the free throw line, but credit Brookdale defensively. They have not allowed her to do anything.
She averages 18 points a game. In fact, a double-double at that. 18 points, 13 rebounds. Can't hit from the line. Jada Camacho comes back in for Lou Russo, the 5'7" sophomore from Patterson. Very athletic player, but you're right, Brian, has been a non-factor for Passaic this afternoon, as Passaic now is starting to struggle from the foul line as well. Anderson The foul line jumper. Off the rim and in.
Anderson loves that pull-up from right around the foul line area, and that time gets a good bounce.
Timeout taken by Coach Eaton. It's a full timeout on the floor with 5:45 to play here in the third. Brookdale in the championship game of the Region 19 tournament leads by 5.
They come to Brookdale with a passion for healthcare, cybersecurity, fashion merchandising. They graduate and transfer to universities like Georgetown, NJIT, and the Fashion Institute of Technology. They begin their careers as registered.
Tim Califramo alongside Brian Gouge with the rest of our BTV crew on Championship Sunday of the 2019 Region 19 tournament. We remind you that our telecast is sponsored in part by Joyce's Subs and Pizza. You can go online at joycessubsandpizza.com. Well, Passaic finds themselves down by 5, and both teams, we mentioned it before we went away to break, are having difficulties from the foul line. This is a low-scoring affair for Passaic. They are one of the top teams in the nation in points a game, 7th in the NJCAA. Not playing like it this afternoon so far. Moses now back out to Henkel. Thomas nowhere to go, but she's fouled. And if that's on Poplawski, that is going to be her 4th. We'll double check just to confirm. That's the second team foul.
Yeah, she's frustrated. Is number 4, and Danielle Griffith is ready to take her place.
It's actually the 4th on Dion Griffith, not Poplawski. I thought that it may have been on Jessica, but instead they get it on Dion. She comes out of the game, and Danielle Griffith will come in for her. Either way, though, another big loss in that sense. Dion Griffith now will most likely be on the bench for, I would assume, the rest of this third quarter at least. Sanaya Thomas at the foul line. 4th in the NCAA in total points this season. NJCAA, I should say. And she gives Passaic a chance to get back into the game. They're down by 3. Anderson one-on-one with Davis to the rim. Deja Anderson scores again. What a move.
Anderson just kind of taking over here, driving through the paint.
Thomas at the other end can't convert. Davis, the rebound, forces it up and in.
Davis has a good knack for getting rebounds. She's not an especially tall player, but a very good rebounder.
Danielle Griffith, the layup. Both teams trading buckets back and forth now. And for the Jersey Blues, they're back up by 5, 35-30.
Yeah, that's how you beat the press. It's just textbook the way it was done. Anderson dribbling all the way through, finding Griffith, striding toward the basket.
Oop, Thomas ran in to double coverage there. Now she backs out to Moses. Shot clock is down to 8. Thomas, the jumper. This one's off the mark. Rouse tracks down the rebound. Brookdale with the momentum. Question is, can they continue to add to this lead? Poplawski with 3 fouls. Rouse, the wing 3 is good. It's an 8-point lead.
Well, that's what we talked about coming into that half. Brookdale needed more of Rouse's shooting. Those are big shots, brings the Brookdale lead to 8.
Davis, a wild move inside. She thought that she was going to be fouled. No call. And Rouse now gets it up to Griffith. There's Catanzaro backing down Henkel in the lane. Catanzaro with a nice shot. It's a 10-point lead for Brookdale and a timeout by Passaic. 3:26 to play here in the third. Brookdale has gone up by double figures in the Region 19 championship game by 10. Kettlefam alongside Brian Gouds with the rest of our BTV crew. We're happy that you're joining us on this Sunday afternoon, Championship Sunday, here in the Region 19 tournament. Winner of this game will qualify for the national tournament. Always a big accomplishment when you can win the region. Automatic berth every time. And for Brookdale and Passaic, both teams have had great seasons. Many different storylines on either side. It would be a wonderful accomplishment if each team could win for different reasons. If you're Passaic, though, you've got some work to do. You're down by 10. A long three from Thomas doesn't change that. And out of bounds, it'll go back to Brookdale. You know, Brian, we haven't really seen Passaic be that effective with this full court press. It looks like they're going to step it up out of this timeout, but I was going to say before that timeout for Passaic, they've been kind of lax with the full court press.
Yeah, and because players like Anderson are just able to beat it easily.
Poplawski, the jumper, everything going in for Brookdale. They go up to their largest lead of 12.
This has been their best stretch of basketball, not just in this game, but really in several games where the offense has been clicking so well.
Thomas. Henkel had it hit her right foot, but it bounces in Thomas' direction. Shot clock is at 6, and Henkel lost it.
And Passaic hoped that the last time out would kind of reorganize things, but it's really had the opposite effect.
Tough place to inbound here for Danielle Griffith. Dangerous pass in the Rouse. She's able to get it. You mentioned the scoring. Brookdale in the last 7 games has scored under 60 points. They average 71. They're on track to beat that if they continue to play well. Poplawski nearly has it stripped away by Moses, and now a timeout is taken by Coach Brunson. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here on BTV with 2:18 to play here in the third. And we mentioned how yesterday during the broadcast we were talking about how Brookdale, even though they are the #1 seed, as of late they have struggled. They've come in here maybe limping just a bit. They still are playing very strong, but they aren't as strong as they were earlier in the year. And part of it has just been they've played some really tough opponents in the latter stretch of the season. But they came in here a little bit shaky, and there were some questions as to whether or not they could perform and live up to a #1 seed. So far, yesterday taking down Sussex, coming back from behind to win that game, and then so far this afternoon, they are showing the reasons why they were ranked the #1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, and I think it's the sign of a good team that even when you're not at your best, you're still piling up wins. Like, they, as we mentioned, weren't scoring at their best, weren't playing real crisp basketball, but they still weren't losing games. They were finding ways to win, and so that gives you confidence that when you get back to your A game, you're going to be one of the really tough teams to beat, even going into the Nationals.
Shot clock is down to 5 here for Brookdale. Catanzaro, she went up and down. One thing that Brookdale does have in their favor is they are undefeated in this building. So far this season, a perfect 12-0. And that, of course, includes postseason play. Camacho with a wild shot. That doesn't fall. And Rouse the rebound. Anderson is bumped by Thomas, and a foul here on Thomas. Poplawski will help her up from the floor. That is the 3rd on Zanaya Thomas. Not really a smart foul there, several feet away from the basket. It's the 4th now on the Panthers. It's Poplawski, Danielle Griffith, Catanzaro, Rouse, and Anderson on the floor for Brookdale. Anderson, a long 2. This one's off the mark. Catanzaro the rebound, no. Tipped around, it'll go out of bounds back to Passaic. Camacho. Now here's Thomas. It's good.
A silky smooth jumper there from Thomas, just getting right around Rouse easily, up over the outstretched arms of Poplawski for 2.
Panthers needed that. They're down by 10. A minute left here in the third. Anderson doing all the work herself. Off the glass. This time it doesn't fall. Camacho, a long 3. Halfway down. Tipped out to Camacho again. She throws it up there. That's not even close. Saved it out of bounds into the first row. And a foul. Will go against Deja Anderson, who was going for the loose ball.
Yeah, you can't really fault Anderson there. All she was trying to do is pick up that ball rolling on the floor off the save try. And so she gets hit with her second.
And credit Camacho keeping that possession alive, going into the Passaic County bench to save that ball out of bounds. Rouse with the steal and the layup at the other end.
That's one thing that Rouse does very well, is anticipate the passing lane. That enables her to get so many steals.
She's got over 60 this season. Moses there underneath the basket, but nobody around her will easily lay it in. It's back to a 10-point deficit. Shot clock is turned off here in the third. Anderson keeping it herself. The jump step move, and Anderson finishes. What a play. And that will end the third quarter. Passaic will not even try a half-court heave. 46-34, Brookdale in command, leading by double digits. The fourth and final corner of the Region 19 championship game is next.
Hi guys, I'm Deion Griffith. I'm from Howell, New Jersey, and I'm a forward on the team. I chose Brookdale because it has a great basketball program. Also, the school is amazing. It has great facilities. My major is biology, and just all the classes help to transfer over, and it's just a great school.
Hi, my name is Jessica Poplawski. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey. I went to Donovan Catholic High School. I am the center of Brookdale women's basketball. I came to Brookdale this year for the basketball program, and also because I am a criminal justice major and a science major. Our goal for this year is to win a ring.
I'm Rachel Rouse. I'm from Neptune, New Jersey. I went to Academy Charter High School. I'm a guard at Brookdale, and I came to Brookdale because it was convenient.
Over 18,000 students annually, flexible schedules, commitment to student success. Welcome to Brookdale. Convenience of 6 physical campuses throughout Monmouth County. Freehold.
Brookdale Television's coverage of the 2019 Region 19 Championship Tournament continues this afternoon after the semifinals were yesterday. We're getting ready to wrap up things on the women's side. 4 teams made the semifinals: Passaic, Brookdale, Philadelphia, and Sussex. Passaic and Brookdale were victorious yesterday, and now each team is trying to decide who will go on to play in the national tournament. Brookdale, as it stands right now, has a pretty good shot to do that. They lead by 12, but Passaic is a team that you can never count out because they are so quick to score, but they have had issues, particularly in the post area, as Davis, out of the timeout to start the fourth quarter rather, brings Passaic to within 10. Brookdale, though, has been in command for much of this game. Rouse the 3. And the rebound to Davis.
Yeah, you don't want Rouse to just force up shots like that.
Davis now going coast to coast. She puts it in. A quick 4 points for the Panthers, and they are within 8. Anderson now going coast to coast herself. The bucket and the foul for Deja Anderson.
I'll tell you, she is fun to watch with the ball in her hands. Let's watch this again. Just the explosive nature she has while dribbling, gets the finish off the glass, and she's fouled. That was beautifully done.
Deja Anderson, ever since she joined this team officially on the floor, has been spectacular. John DePasquale, the head official, going over to the scores table just to check something real quick as Anderson awaits her one attempt from the line. To give Brookdale an 11-point lead. This one's off the mark. Rebound Moses. Panthers with time starting to run out, trying to force the issue here. Camacho is fouled at the other end. And these are opportunities now that Passaic has to make the most of. They have had some issues from the foul line as well in this game. With the clock stopped, trying to claw their way back into the game. Camacho hits the first attempt. Jada Camacho has had an up and down year. She missed 7 games this season, had 15 points against Philadelphia earlier this season. Not the one yesterday afternoon, but earlier this season on November 29th. And she is also a player that averages a double-double when she steps onto the floor. She hits the bench. In for her, Lou Russo. And a turnover on the inbounds play. Another turnover as Passaic gives it right back to Brookdale.
I think Anderson's aggressiveness so far has been the difference for Brookdale. She has just been the aggressor.
Brookdale in front by 8. Poplawski make it 10.
And the number 2 on that list is Catanzaro's passing.
Nice assist there by Catanzaro to get it into the post area. Passaic has just had difficulty stopping Brookdale in the second half. Russo, the 3. It's off the mark. Ball is loose. Poplawski has it, and a jump ball is called. It'll go to Brookdale. I think Poplawski may have got hit in the eye on the last play.
I don't think they know who to give the ball to.
Shot clock probably should reset as well. It's showing 27. Still some confusion on the floor. 8:30 to play here in the fourth. They will not reset the shot clock, so they'll keep it at 27. Anderson nearly has it taken away by Davis out of the timeout. Anderson. Another jumper. This one rolls off the rim. Poplawski kept it alive, but she couldn't corral it. Now here's Zanaya Thomas. A nice stop to ward off Anderson, and she lays it in.
Almost Poplawski a little bit hurt there. It didn't look like she was walking real well.
Well, Coach Brunson will burn a timeout here. I'm not sure if that's the reason behind it or if he's just trying to make sure that Passaic does not mount a run here late in the fourth. There'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here on BTV. And you can definitely not count Passaic out here, Brian. They are a team that has shown in different games that we have seen this year to come from behind. They are one of the better scoring teams in the conference. So for them to only have 42 points, you have to credit Brookdale's defense for sure, but that's a misnomer because you know how quickly they can score if given the opportunity.
And especially if Zanaya Thomas goes on one of her scoring binges, which thus far is yet to happen. So you still have to watch because at any point a star score like that can get going and then you could be in some trouble.
So Brookdale out of the timeout is on the floor with Anderson, Rouse, Danielle Griffith, Catanzaro, and Poplawski. And that was last touched, I believe, out of bounds by Hankel. It was a very weird play because Hankel touched the ball and then Rouse continued to run out of bounds. But the officials awarded to the Jersey Blues.
I think Passaic wishing there was instant replay.
Russo guarding Anderson. She pokes it away. It'll stay here with 11 to shoot. That's the quick hands by Russo. It's Russo, Davis, Thomas, Moses, and Henkel on the floor for Passaic. Jada Camacho is still on the bench with 3 fouls. Anderson has to hurry here as shot clock is down to 5. The long 2, too strong. Poplawski, the tip up, doesn't go. Out of bounds, last touch by Passaic. And these are crucial possessions for both teams because for Brookdale, you can kind of milk the clock in a way, Brian, where you can take some time with an 8-point lead. Rouse is fouled clearly at the foul line. It's either going to be on Russo or Moses, and they'll charge it to Olivia Moses. That's her first. So Rachel Rouse, the 5'6" sophomore from Neptune, New Jersey, will now head to the line. Talked about how good of a defender she is, but really plays well on both sides of the court as a prolific shooter from behind the arc when she is in rhythm. But the issues from the foul line continue for Brookdale. They're leaving points on the table. We saw that at the end of the first half. And here down the stretch, Brookdale is struggling to make their foul shots. 1 out of 2 for Rouse. Under 8 minutes to play. Davis, nowhere to go. And to Thomas. Zone defense here for the Blues. Long 3 by Russo. That one again is off the mark. It won't go. Griffith corrals the rebound after she was guarded very tightly underneath by Davis. Anderson using some clock here. Now here's Griffith to Catanzaro. Clock is at 5. Catanzaro at Henkel to the rim. She puts it in.
Great move by Catanzaro, who's been one of the most impressive players for Brookdale on the court here in the title game. She has come up big.
Davis backing down Anderson. Henkel, it's a 2 if it goes. It's high off the rim, no good. Thomas is bumped going out of bounds. It's a foul on the floor, I believe, on Deja Anderson. It's the 3rd team foul on the Jersey Blues, and that's the 3rd on Deja. Fresh 30. Moses couldn't handle it, but she got it over to Thomas. Top of the key 3 for Thomas, rattles in.
And now quickly the press here in the backcourt. Anderson has been the one to beat it, which she does once more.
Anderson has really taken over the point for Brookdale since joining the team. Has quickly adapted. Russo not giving her any space at all. The ball goes through the hands of Poplawski, and it's a turnover.
And they communicate because Poplawski's frustrated with Anderson.
Henkel will hit the bench. And Jada Camacho, who's got 3 personal fouls, comes back in for Passaic with 6 minutes to go. Russo. Camacho, 4-3. Halfway down, it bounces out. And Rouse somehow is able to track down the rebound.
Rich Brunson wanted to travel on that last play. You could hear him yelling, walk.
Anderson again guarded by Russo. Brookdale again chewing up some clock here. Shot clock is down to 9. And a foul here about 25 feet away from the basket on Russo. It's only the 3rd team foul on Passaic, so it'll be a non-shooting foul. And for Russo, that's her first. Our officials this afternoon, Ron DePasquale, Steve Warner, and Ashley Nichols have been very busy. Poked away by Russo, and now Anderson picks up a foul. Russo has got some very quick hands, and Anderson tries to get it back, inadvertently hits her in the head. And for Anderson now, we'll check the number on her. That's her 4th.
Well, if she didn't commit that foul, it's probably going to be an easy opportunity in transition for Russo. Now the officials are all conferring. They might be determining if it's flagrant.
Well, there was contact to the head, but I think that the officials are going to say this was inadvertent, which it clearly was. Anderson wasn't in any way trying to harm Russo, and I think that's a good call. But Anderson remains on the floor with 4 fouls. Passaic down by 8, and another turnover, this time at the hands of Danielle Griffith. Rouse tried to get it into Cananzaro. It's taken away by Davis. Davis at the rim. She lays it in. Not really much Anderson could do. She's got 4 fouls.
Yeah, forced to back off, and Davis able to lay it in easily.
Coming down to the wire. Brookdale's got to get it in. They lob it in, and it's a turnover. Opportunity here for the Panthers. Down by 6. Thomas, the 3. It's short. Griffith, the rebound. Timeout, Coach Brunson. With 4:32 to play, it's a full timeout of the floor. We'll take a break. Brookdale up by 6 in the Region 19 championship game.
Hazlitt, Long Branch, Neptune, Lincroft, and Wall.
Tim Calafemo, Brian Gounsworth inside the Robert J. Collins Arena this afternoon on Championship Sunday. Coming down to the wire here for the first of 2 games we have for you this afternoon. Brookdale in front by 6. They were in front by double digits at the beginning of the 4th quarter, but Passaic has gone on a run. They are mounting a charge, and right now they clearly have the momentum, Brian.
They do, and they've been going to the press of late, which has forced Brookdale into some errant passes. They needed that last timeout to try to get reset, see if they can close out the final 4.5 minutes.
And Passaic has traveled very well. You hear them in the background in the crowd. Rouse's 3 may have been partially blocked. Poplawski, the rebound. The shot clock does not reset. It's down to 9. Anderson with a lane all to herself, and she lays it in.
Boy, it's amazing how much of a clear path there was to the basket. Look, just nobody in sight, and that's why Tia Eaton is bringing her team together. That's just inexcusable defense.
Timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout for Passaic.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, and that's just not very good defense, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly why Coach Easton burns that timeout. For Anderson, we know that she's such a good dribbler. She can drive to the basket, but when you give her that much room to go to the bucket, when there's nobody else in the lane, it's almost too easy at that point.
Yeah, she just saw a little bit of daylight. As you mentioned, the clock was winding down, just got around the first perimeter defender, and there was no help from Passaic. And once a player like Anderson with her speed sees that kind of daylight, she is going to take advantage of it.
See Coach Brunson looking on there on the sidelines, mentioned that he's got experience coaching in his 3rd season, was the former assistant to the men's basketball team for several years, played at Rutgers from 1979 to 1983. And how about the Scarlet Knights last night? A big Big Ten win on the road in Iowa City, taking down the Hawkeyes.
And that's your alma mater.
Yeah, you know I had to squeeze that one in.
Well, also because the last time they played Iowa, they lost on a buzzer-beating
yes,
shot.
Let's not even talk about that one. Camacho, she was looking for a foul, and the ball just goes out of bounds. There was contact between her and Poplawski, but the officials let it go. And another whistle. They will reset the shot clock to 30. Four minutes to go. Anderson may have gotten bumped in the backcourt. No foul that time. Ball is tipped up. A huge collision at midcourt. Anderson is down, and the officials will stop play. She got run right into by Zanaya Thomas. Both players were going for the ball, and that's a good sign to see Anderson get back up.
Yeah, that's very good because she took a pretty good shot there. And now she's just trying to walk it off. Definitely in some pain, understandably so.
It was an awkward collision. Anderson in a way, got bent over backwards as she was falling down to the floor because Thomas was coming in from the opposite direction to grab the ball, and she's going to go to the bench. So in for her will be Dion Griffith. She goes to the bench, but now she goes over to the scores table, so obviously she's not going to be out for very long. Shot clock winding down here, down to 10. Rouse flipped it over to Catanzaro. She lost it. Camacho lost it, but she got it back for Passaic, who needs a bucket on this possession. Contact, no call. Dion Griffith is on the floor. Still no foul. Passaic lays it in. That's actually Danielle Griffith. Check that, on the floor. There's been a lot of players that have been knocked down, but there have not been any fouls called, and Coach Brunson now is going to come out and check on Danielle Griffith.
Fortunately, we saw Anderson able to get to her feet, but this one looks to be a tad more serious. Now Danielle Griffith just trying to walk it off there as she goes toward the Brookdale bench.
She's being attended to by Pete Fusco, the athletic trainer. Coach Brunson's getting the explanation from Steve Warner, one of the officials. There was no foul on the floor. And Anderson will come back in for Brookdale with 4 personal fouls as Danielle Griffith walking on her own to the training table. So doesn't appear to be serious, but a scary moment for sure. It's a fresh 30 for Brookdale. They inbound underneath their own basket. Anderson is fouled.
And I think Passaic probably just trying to get a steal there. I think that's just an over-aggressive play, giving away a team foul with this much time to play.
But it's the non-shooting foul, so Brookdale has to inbound the ball again. It's the second on Russo, only the 4th on Passaic. If they get to another foul, it will be 2 shots for Brookdale, but they got to still get the ball in bounds. They do to Anderson. Anderson splits the defense. Looked like for a second Anderson was going to go to the rim, but Brookdale wisely with a 6-point lead will take a little bit more time on this possession, try to shorten the game. Anderson hands it off to Poplawski. A jump ball is called, and it goes back to Passaic.
And then Poplawski never gives up when she gets tied up. Typically, she's the one who rips the ball away from the opposition, but the possession arrow doesn't go in Brookdale's favor.
6-point game. 3 minutes to play. Moses lost it. On the floor once again is Anderson. Another jump ball, and this time it goes Brookdale's way. How about Deja Anderson, who looks to be a little bit shaken up? She's going to get up and slowly walk back towards where Brookdale has to inbound the ball. But how about Anderson going to the floor several times in this game for loose balls?
Yeah, that's why I mentioned earlier, I think that's been one of the differences in the game for Brookdale.
Turnover out of the inbounds pass. Camacho is fouled.
And for Dion Griffith, I think that's it, right? She had 4 personals.
Might be right, Brian. We'll double check. She was in foul trouble, and that is the 5th foul on Dion Griffith. So the first player to foul out of this contest goes to the bench. Alexis Espada comes in for him. So this could be for her. This could be trouble for Brookdale because you have Danielle Griffith being worked on at the trainer's table. Dion Griffith on the bench fouled out. Opportunity possibly for Passaic, but once again, their issues from the foul line continue. Camacho, who shoots 71%, misses the first. Missed them both. The spot of the rebound. Rouse is double teamed. Another jump ball. No, a timeout instead by Brookdale. We'll see if this is a 30 or a full. I think this is just a 30-second timeout. Brookdale, that's their last timeout, Brian. They don't have any more timeouts in the game, so they keep possession. They don't give it back to Passaic, but still, now you have to go 2 minutes and 41 seconds, depending on how these last couple of minutes play out with no timeouts.
Yeah, they used a lot of them earlier on in the half in the third quarter, but that's kind of a disadvantage as you go down the stretch in a close game that you're not able to stop the clock on your own, and especially when you're trying to devise key plays if this game gets even closer.
Administrative technical foul has been charged to Brookdale for excessive timeout.
And actually, you know what? They didn't have any more timeouts. I thought that possibly the scoreboard was wrong, but they called a timeout. They did not have any remaining, and that's why Passaic now is shooting 2 technical foul shots. Doesn't help them. They missed them both. That was Kathy Davis at the foul line. I thought that the scoreboard was incorrect because I believe that Brookdale had one more timeout remaining. They used it up a few moments ago, and when Rouse called that timeout, I think she was under the impression that they still had that last one. Yeah. Either way, it hurts Brookdale here with an opportunity now with Passaic to score. They can't, but Russo grabs the rebound, and now a fresh 30. Time running out here on the Panthers. Camacho for 3. She got it. It is a 3-point game. And Catanzaro can't handle the inbounds pass from Anderson. Davis now runs into Poplawski. Camacho another 3. Rebound Russo, she puts it in.
And remember, this would be a situation where if you're Brookdale, you'd like to take a timeout, but of course you can't.
Anderson forces it up there, no. Passaic can take the lead. They have not led at all in the second half. Davis, the layup is good. And now on the baseline, giving it back to Passaic is Brookdale. Timeout, Panthers. And just like that, Brian, Brookdale's lead is gone. And with no more timeouts, this is a really tough spot for them to be in.
It's an unbelievable turn of events. The Camacho 3, the turnover, Russo gets the offensive rebound and put back. Brookdale turns it over again on the inbounds. Things just not going well for the Jersey Blues, and as you mentioned, a game that they have controlled for just about the entire way since the opening tip. They have seen the lead evaporate in the final minutes.
Watch this again. This was Russo's jumper, and then right after that, Catanzaro and Poplawski had an issue inbounding the basketball where, I don't know if it was Poplawski that was on the foul line or Catanzaro that was on the baseline, but one of them was on the line, and it is therefore a turnover. So Passaic has the ball, 30-second shot clock. Brookdale thought they had possession of the ball. It's Passaic ball. Neither team has any timeouts remaining. Thomas, another 3. Is good off the glass and in. Anderson falls down, throws it over to Rouse. Brookdale's got some numbers here. Down by 4. Poplawski to Espada. Brookdale has to quickly reset and somehow get a shot up. Anderson the jumper. That doesn't go. Catanzaro the rebound and in and the bucket. The foul and the bucket for Anna Catanzaro.
The whistle came just a shade late there. It was after the shot was rolling up along the rim, but for Catanzaro, a big-time play, and now trying to pull her team to within 1.
You couldn't have asked for a better championship game with everything all on the line. And now a crucial basket from the line for Catanzaro. She's only a 50% foul shooter. It's no good. Last touch to Brookdale. My goodness. Everybody in the Collins Arena is standing. Poplawski throws it away. She tried to get into Davis. Up and, oh, a double dribble instead on Kathy Davis.
Wow.
This is just wild. Anderson inbound, looking, throws it away again. Davis has got the ball. 2-on-1, over to Thomas, who puts it in. And the timer is still running. Brookdale's got to hurry up here. They're down by 4. Anderson is fouled by Russo. And that's just a foul that you just don't want to commit, Brian. I mean, Brookdale's down by 4. They have to shoot, but now you give the Jersey Blues, with the time stopped, an opportunity at the line.
And immediately Tia Eaton called over Russo to have a little chat with her about committing that foul, because it was not a good one, because it allows Anderson to shoot free throws here. The clock stopped.
It's no good. Foul shots are not automatic for Brookdale as a team. It is one of their weak points that they've been trying to improve on. Everybody on the team has had issues with foul shooting this year. Second attempt for Anderson is good. It's a 3-point game. Remember, no timeouts. Davis over to Moses, nearly thrown away there. Camacho. Russo. Too strong. Poplawski the rebound. Anderson is fouled again. It's on Moses.
These fouls are just really hurting Passaic. I mean, I get that you want to trap here in the back court, but you have a lead like this and the clock is under a minute left. You don't want to stop it and just allow 3 points at the board.
So Deja Anderson at the foul line again. Rolls off the rim, no good. Still a lot of time left in this game, 40 seconds. Second attempt now for Anderson upcoming. It's good. 2-point game.
And if you're Brookdale here, you probably have to foul.
Rouse tried to foul Davis there. Now she is thrown down to the floor. No foul. Instead, Davis traveled. Wow. I don't know, Brian. This looked like a foul to me. And if it was on Poplawski, that would have been her 5th and final foul. Brookdale's got to inbound. Somebody gets it into Poplawski. Poplawski, jump ball. It goes to Passaic.
This is just a wild sequence we're seeing.
That may have been the opportunity for Brookdale, because now, down by 2, you probably have to foul again. Brookdale has to foul.
Yes.
Nobody's fouling. Catanzaro commits the personal. And with 22 seconds to go, it'll be Jada Camacho trying to put this game on ice from the foul line. What a wild game this has been.
Shooting 2.
Camacho, her average this season is 71%, but both teams have had issues at the line. Camacho's first attempt is good. It's a 3-point game. Brookdale can still tie with a 3 if they were to get a 3. Camacho, though, has to miss this foul shot. Second attempt is good. Brookdale has got to hurry here. No more shot clock. It is turned off. Brookdale's taking their time. Taking a lot of time on this possession. Anderson is fouled again.
Tia Eaton just cannot believe it.
And that is now the 5th and final foul for Lou Russo. But Brookdale took an awful lot of time bringing the ball up the floor. Anderson's first attempt is no good. Second attempt now for Anderson. That's good. 1 out of 2 once again. It's a 3-point game. Davis nearly lost it. Brookdale has to foul, and Poplawski will, I believe, commit her 5th foul. Didn't have much of a choice there.
At this point, you just have to hope for missed free throws, because even if Passaic only makes 1 here, it becomes pretty much impossible in a 2-possession game.
It's actually only the 4th personal foul on Poplawski. My apologies. And Kathy Davis at the foul line for 2 shots. First one is good.
Really a shame for Brookdale. A game that they controlled for so much of the way. And just to see their season end on their home floor, disappointing.
Davis' second attempt is good. 6.8 to play. And a double dribble on Poplawski. And this game is just about over. And you said it, Brian, this is going to be a very frustrating way for Brookdale to close out their season. A game that they were in control of. But a lot of misses from the foul line is what ends up costing Brookdale in the end. And Passaic is going to the national tournament. They are the Region 19 champions. Final score 65-60. And for Passaic, it's a much-deserved win. They fought hard yesterday against Philadelphia. They fought hard in today's game. And there was even a chance when we were talking amongst ourselves, Brian, off camera, in the middle of the first half, that it looked like Brookdale was going to pull away and almost blow out Passaic. Passaic did not look very strong at all. They come from behind and they get a win.
And it was that one stretch, I think, that did Brookdale in the 4th quarter. Then they had the timeout mishap, and really it seemed like things kind of unraveled from there for the Jersey Blues. Then failing on the inbounds pass on a couple of occasions just led to some free, easy baskets for Passaic. And like we said, a game that really they controlled for much of the way. They see kind of slip through the cracks. Disappointing way for it to end for Brookdale, but I think we have to give them credit for a job well done this season. I mean, to only lose 4 times, Rich Brunson's team, the #1 seed, a great year all in all for them, and it is a disappointing end. Not having Haley DeLonzo on the floor, I think, is a key factor. They were a little short-handed here down the stretch. This game, though, very much entertaining, as we saw. They come up a little bit short, but certainly a season that was well done.
Passaic, though, they will move on to play for the national tournament for NJCAA. They will be the Region 19 conference title champions, and we talked about Tia Eaton in her 16th season. This was a struggle at the very beginning of the year. She was telling me that they had several players, some of them no longer were on the team. They come together and they somehow find a way to win the title.
Yeah, they made the plays down the stretch. Brookdale kind of handed it to them in that stretch, but they made the plays. They got the steals. They were aggressive with the full court press. They got plays from Zanaya Thomas. Jada Camacho, a strong game from start to finish for her. So hats off to Passaic, and they're going to be formidable moving forward as they go into the Nationals.
Trophy ceremony taking place. Let's now go down to join that action.
Moving on to the actually, the presentation of the awards is being made by Caitlin Emerson, Director of Athletics at Brookdale Community College. And moving on to the individual award. With 20 points in the championship game, the 2019 Region 19 Division III Tournament Most Valuable Player from Passaic Community College, number 14, Jada Camacho. And now the 2019 Region 19 Division III champions, the Panthers of Passaic County Community College, Tia Eaton and her Panthers receive their award. Passaic County Community College will now travel to Northampton Community College in Pennsylvania to represent Region 19 NJCAA Division III National Team. And now the 2019 Region 19 Division III Coach of the Year, Tia Eaton.
Very hard, very proud of you guys.
Well, congratulations to both teams on outstanding seasons. On behalf of Region 19 Brookdale Community College, thanks to everyone for making this an outstanding event. For those of you leaving, thank you. Have a safe trip home. Have a safe trip home.
To win this.
Awesome. It feels so awesome. I tell you, I haven't been here. I don't think I've won a game at Brookdale since I've been coaching. So outside of that, and then on top of that, the way my players played towards the end of the game, just, you know, and now where they're going, they have an opportunity to advance and continue playing. This is just an amazing feeling. I'm so proud of my players, you know, for not giving up, for just working hard and just continue having faith. And that's what this, you know, this win is. It's an awesome win, and it's, you know, it's a win that we would forever cherish. It really is.
Of course, and
First time in Brookdale.
I love it. And I know along with the, you know, winning, you just won Coach of the Year. How does that feel?
That's, you know what, I've won Coach of the Year a couple of times, but I tell you, this year matters most because this was a hard-fought win. And the way these girls played over the course of the year, you know, and bouncing back, you know, this is definitely, I love the fact that this is, being a Coach of the Year now, it really means something. It really does.
And, you know, you guys were behind a couple points and came back and took the lead, and you just got aggressive towards the end. What did you tell your girls?
I asked them, I said, do you want to win? And I challenged them. I said, well, if you want to win, you have to start to show up. I said, we don't have much time left. You can't hold anything back. And I asked each and every girl, do you want to win? And each of them said yes. And they said, you know what, Coach, we're ready. And I said, well, if you haven't been ready, this is the last time to be ready. And they showed up, you know. They showed up. They didn't give up, and they kept working hard. You know, we was missing a lot of baskets. You know, our game wasn't where we wanted to be. But we just had to keep pounding away. We had to keep pounding away, and they fought. And then literally 6 players played the entire game. And so I think, you know, it's just a testament of how hard they worked and how much they wanted to win.
And congratulations, Coach. Absolutely deserved. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. And I'm Simi Kaur, and on behalf of BTV, thank you so much for joining us. That wraps up the women's division. But we will be back in less than a half hour for the men's game. Stay tuned.